I've sent this into the universe with the intention it attracts the right audience and the people it's meant to find. I'm the Page of Pentacles. I don't believe there's such a thing as coincidences, so if we cross paths, I think it was for a reason. 22 on the timer as I said that. Maybe the number 1239 could also be significant. I cut the deck and we already have the Moon reversed and the Seven of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles upright. Good Lord. If I could read, that'd be great. I feel like potentially in this collective, yeah, 55 on the timer as well. Potentially in this collective, there is like this, this feeling of potentially reminiscing, if you will. Maybe it was the new year that kind of brought it in, if that makes any sense. You're kind of just thinking about all the has and has nots and what had been and what was and wasn't. With the Five of Swords, kind of him looking back and being kind of oh well, and then the Eight of Cups reversed, but what if? Because here he's moving forward, it's not looking back, but here it's kind of I don't know. And it doesn't feel like it's a what if as in regretful. It just feels like potentially you've been grieving something with the Page of Cups and Page of Swords reversed. Potentially you've been grieving something maybe for what it could have been, if that makes any sense. Because I have the Moon reversed and the Eight of Pentacles, like I said. And with that, it just feels like it's you're not in a space where you're necessarily in grief about this anymore. You've probably already reached acceptance. And with the Eight of Pentacles, you put in a lot of work. You've grown a ton from that moment. And it's but there's a duality with it. It's with the Ace of Pentacles, you're in this new life, 222 on the timer as confirmation. But with the Three of Swords reversed, it still feels even though you are moving on, it's there's that remnant of that heartache. Just because those swords aren't there doesn't mean those scars aren't. Does that make sense? It just feels this overwhelming grief, potentially of losing something or someone you loved. And take it as it resonates. It could be to death, or it could, be just you no longer align. That's just how the cookie crumbled, how the cards fell. Now, it does feel specifically a little bit more tied to some, it doesn't feel like it was death per se, but like I said, take it as it resonates. But it does feel I just feel there's just grief here. Grief of something that could have been but wasn't. What I'm getting with the Star reversed and the Queen of Pentacles together is that with the Star reversed, it feels something someone not seeing your value, be that platonic. Sorry, my phone paused. Platonic, romantic, or even just in a coworker sense per se. But it feels you had to kind of withdraw and find your own value. And there's a lot of beauty in that. Don't get me wrong, but it just feels there's a grief for potentially someone you lost along the way. Or a situation you lost along the way. It's grieving a past version of yourself while still moving forward. Not necessarily wishing you were back in that situation or with that person or knowing that person in that friendship, in that job, but it's still but there was ups with those downs, and you sometimes miss potentially what those ups were, if that makes any sense. For example, I'm going to take a relationship. You had a relationship with someone, and maybe it was never what you thought it was. Maybe it's only was, and this is also speaking because it feels this is partially a me reading, in a sense, where it feels I resonate with this collective. Because today I was actually grieving a loss I had in the past of someone I loved a lot and who I truly, truly cared for. And I thought we had something special, and it hurt really bad to realize that I think I was the only one who thought it was that special and made it that special. And it's like, obviously, I don't wish I was back in that situation, because if I was with that person in that situation again, I would still be the only person who is putting in that effort. And you can't, be like, one person's in here and one person's down here. It just can't be that way. But that doesn't mean you don't still, I don't know, miss the version of you that loved them, miss the love that you had for them, miss the good times you did have with them, because, there's a reason potentially that you stuck around that long, and that was because there was good time, there was good with the bad. There was ups with the downs, and sometimes those ups felt like they weighed higher than the lows, but like, it feels like with the Two of Pentacles reversed and the King of Swords, this person didn't value you very highly. And maybe the love was all one-sided, be that platonic or romantic or any other kind. Maybe this was all one-sided, and you in the end did have to lay down the law, kind of decide that I am my first priority. Like, I can't keep being treated like this. I need to draw these boundaries, set these in stone so you firmly understand where I'm coming from. But at the same time, it still hurts. Like, you wouldn't be back in that position. But it's hard because you still have love for that person as they existed in your mind, if that makes any sense. Yeah, with the Nine of Pentacles upright as well as the Lovers upright, underneath those two swords, it's like, yes, ultimately you know that you're going to move forward, you're going to gain, you know that you have value in yourself now, like you've gained that self-value, and you know you're going to continue to grow in yourself, as well as with the Lovers, in your own connections, like, and in your connections with other people. You know that, like, where the universe is clearing out something that doesn't serve you, it's bringing in something that it does. But that doesn't make it any less painful. And sometimes you do just want to sit in this Nine of Wands energy and just, even as you're creating this new life and accepting all these beautiful gifts and feeling that gratitude, at the same time, it's also like feeling empathy for that version of you who did have that love in your heart for that person. Feeling that love for that person, even though they're no longer in your life, for who they were when they were in your life, or who you saw them as, if that makes any sense. And sometimes it's hard and it hurts a lot, and you don't necessarily want to accept that there has to be an ending. And you know that that person doesn't serve you, and they weren't aligned with you, and maybe they never were. Maybe you only knew the facade that they put forth, but at the same time, sometimes you can still accept that there was beauty in something, and maybe that beauty was mostly, if not all, brought by yourself, but there is still beauty in that. There's beauty in loving someone, even if there is a love and a loss. And it sounds so cliche, but it's like, there is beauty in the fact that you were able to love that hard. There is beauty in the fact that you were able to bring so much forth and give so much of yourself to somebody and love someone so thoroughly, and it shows so much, especially if you're resonating with this. It shows so much that you are a good person, a caring person, not even good. You are a very loving person. You are full of love and light to give, and you don't hold it back, because even though this person isn't in your life, even though they might have screwed you over, you still hold love for them. And maybe you're wishing them the best from afar. Maybe you've decided to just like move on. You're not even like necessarily looking for karma to come in and fix things for them. It's not even vengeful. It's just this almost, dare I say, no, 9:36 on the timer, and 9:99 and 10:10 feel significant as well. No revenge, because I love you. And even if you didn't love the real them, you still had love for them. And honestly, that's beautiful. And it's okay to just sit in that and respect those feelings and honor them. So